An end may have finally come to the active relevance of the opposition People's Democratic Party as the chairman of its Governors Forum and Governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, has concluded plans to join the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, this week, barring any unforeseen circumstances. This day's investigation has revealed this. According to the sources, the Bauchi State Governor, in a meeting with President Bala and the APC leadership, disclosed his intention to be part of the political family. Moving on, the members of the Reconciliation Committee from the camps of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, and the People's Democratic Party governors are expected to meet on Monday, that's today, as the joint panel prepares to harmonize conditions for resolving the lingering crisis within the party. Now, a chaotic scene was captured at an APC City Boy Movement empowerment event at the weekend in Owerri, Imo State. What began as an orderly gathering quickly turned into a near stampede as participants surged toward distribution points for palliatives, food items, and goodie bags. The video shows people pushing, shoving, and climbing over each other, with some trying to snatch multiple items at once. Organizers and security appeared overwhelmed, with some retreating as the crowd pressed forward. Bodies jostled amid shouting and flying items, creating total mayhem. High-profile coordinators included Pascal Okechukwu, also known as Cubana Chief Priest, Imo State Director Coordinator, and Obina Iyebu, also known as Obi Cubana, Southeast Zonal Director of City Boy Movement. Both are well-known businessmen and socialites aligned with the movement. The event was framed as APC supported, with the governor urging youth to champion a new Nigeria. Moving on, a faction of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has fixed April 3 to April 5 for the election of new members of the National Working Committee. In a statement issued on Sunday, the ADC faction said party executives at the ward, local government area, state, and national congresses will be elected through consensus. In a timetable outlining activities leading up to the national convention, the party said ward congresses will take place on March 19, followed by local government area congresses on March 24 and state congresses on March 28. Joining us on Political Brief to discuss these stories is Arise Director of News and Politics Editor, Somna Sambo. Good morning, Somna. Good to see you on this Monday morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Dr. Bati. Good morning, Rufai. And thanks for all the questions put out to these two guests that appeared earlier.
Well, quite a handful.
Great questions.
We just had Ladan Saliu with us on the morning show. And he was saying that the ADC faction, well, he says there are no factions, but that there is a group led by Nafiu Gumbe and also Kachiku and one other person who are being sponsored by the APC. Is there some truth to that? Do you think that the ADC is now going the direction of perhaps, let's use Labour Party, where the party will now be divided, now that they are organizing two different activities? The Gombe faction is holding an event April 3 to 5. The David Mark faction, as it has been identified, is going to hold his own event from April 14 to elect national officers. And then one faction has told the other not to speak for the party, and for financial institutions not to recognize the David Mark faction. So is the party even imploding before it gets off the starting blocks? And then how certain are we that after today's meeting, reconciliation meeting in the PDP, that Bala Mohammed, Governor of Bauchi, will not change his mind? Do you have concrete information that he would definitely declare for the APC tomorrow? You know, we had issue with the Adamawa governor about this sharing formula. Are we likely to have that, or Bala Mohammed may not even leave the party? As for the City Boy event, well, I thought the big issue there was that the village boys also wanted to be part of, that event in Owerri. They didn't want to leave all those goodies to the city boys alone, the village boys. Do you have information on that?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Abati. Let's start with the issues you've raised. And I want to start with the ADC, saying if they are being sponsored by the APC or not. Well, I think I will just want to take it from a different perspective. You see, when you're a political party and you have a very sound technical advisor, what they will do is actually to look at the challenges in the other opposition political parties, and then look at clinical ways to actually keep them busy through distractions. And through that, you'll be charting your own path without so much of opposition. And I think this is what has happened. Unfortunate for other opposition political parties. In the past, we've always had presidents who were not so much grounded in politics or understand the nitty-gritty of political engineering within political parties. But this time around, we've had President Bala Tinubu, who happens to be highly skillful. I know the members of the opposition don't like to hear this, but they themselves know the truth. That, for example, in this APC administration, it will interest you to know that President Tinubu is not just the president of Nigeria, he's also the national leader of the APC and also the actual de facto national chairman of the APC. And having had very good experience right from the political culture of Nigeria when he joined Nigerian politics in the 90s, knowing all these people, he has been able to identify the major challenges in these parties. And because some of these political parties too were very careless in the way they handle some of these issues, without even resorting to considering their national legal advisors or external parties' opinion on certain issues, they just felt it was like, normal party politics under Obasanjo or Yaradua or Jonathan, or even Buhari, who may not have been clinically sound. But you can see that under this, what the APC is doing through its technical advisor, President Tinubu, is actually exploiting the little challenges that they have, which are legally based, and then, allowing these party members to do the destruction of their own parties by themselves. As to the ADC, is there a challenge? Yes, there is, because Rafu Wosu, who was the former national chairman, didn't tie all the knots properly before eventually handing over the ADC to David Mark and Aregbesola and the rest of the leaders. And then there was also that fear that if they go to form a new party, the new party may not be registered. So within that, ADC looked like a very beautiful platform. And with someone like former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who had been the guiding light of this ADC before it became to national prominence, as of last year, the thinking was that, they won't have all these obstacles. But unfortunately, despite the fact that you would have heard from Ladan Salihu that Nafiu Gombe had been left out and that he had resigned himself, he is still insisting that he didn't do all of that. Now, they've gone to court. The case is in court, challenging David Mark's leadership. I thought that before now, that the David Mark leadership will call these gentlemen, including Kachuku, sit down and see what they can do, learning from the experiences of the PDP, knowing that whatever happened was because of the technical issues that the PDP refused to, arrogantly behaving as if they were still in power. And unfortunately, leaving their loophole. These same issues that are happening now, don't forget, happened to the APC too. Between 2021 and 2022, APC has several, national chairmen that were coming up here and there. That's because of the plan then against Bola Tinubu from emerging as the national chairman. And because Bola Tinubu understood the intricacies of the APC, he also gave it back to those people who were kicking against him then. And so what I would advise, just like others are saying, is that there should be reconciliation, just like the Wike-led, PDP and the Bala Mohammed-led PDP is meeting today. The reconciliatory talks are what will actually revive these political parties. Because if you were to go the legal way, some of these cases will have to terminate at the Supreme Court. Can the ADC, for example, afford this case to move from the Federal High Court, which has not even been heard now, to the Court of Appeal and to the Supreme Court? That means anybody who is signing the documents of candidates now may not actually be confirmed by the courts once it gets to Supreme Court, which will be a challenge, and then people will be running away. But unfortunately, it's a dicey situation, and there are talks here and there that the APC has actually been sponsoring some people to go to these parties to do this. But the unfortunate thing is that you can't have the evidence directly. I know how politicians behave. They are APC by night and PDP or ADC by day. Because everybody's looking for food to eat in the APC. And so if we use the old terms that were used against some of these politicians, you call them food is ready politicians. And that's the situation we are seeing, where the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, like we have heard, has negotiated his way out, and they, had to give him a 60-40 arrangement for him to come into the party, to the extent that he's been told that if he does defect, that he's not going to produce his successor. And that is because the APC in Bauchi State has 3 key persons that are working to become governor. You have the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Tuga. You have the Minister of Health, Ali Mohammed Pate. And then you have Bala, a former NNPC upstream personnel who was in charge of the HSE and all of that. Now, these 3 persons wouldn't want Bala Mohammed to defect to the APC and then still have the opportunity to, nominate his successor. Because Tinubu want to also have someone who would work in his interest. And one thing I keep hearing from some of the party leaders is that Tinubu is interested in nominating each governorship candidate of the APC in all 36 states. Now, he's doing this because he has experience as a former governor. And then, don't forget, his vice president is a former governor. The Senate president is a former governor. And then it cascades like that. So the APC is leveraging on its experience in the past and using it to actually, work out the challenges in the opposition political parties. And it will be shocking to a whole lot of people that Bala Mohammed, who has said that he's not a PDP, he's not an APC person, that he's fully a PDP man, will be the one to be getting into this situation. But if you're the one, what will you do? Because he is saying, from what I've learned from his people, that he will never get into the same political party with Nyesom Wike again. So he doesn't want to embark on a reconciliatory drive with Nyesom Wike. And as a result of that, he wants to defect. He had rather prefer to defect to the APC than for him to be in the same APC, PDP with Nyesom Wike. Okay. So it's a huge challenge for opposition political parties. We can only ask that they put their hands together. As for the City Boys movement that happened, this actually tells us that there's a huge poverty in the land. And what, again, does that tell us? That our crowd, management measures
yes.
are very, very porous. And as we are going into the next elections, campaigns will soon come up. The police and political parties must work together so that Nigerians do not get into such a situation like we've always had, including in this Ramadan period and all of that, fasting period length, when politicians go and distribute food and all of that. There are no crowd control measures. And before you know, because of the huge poverty in the land, which many have also said is due to the APC, with rising poverty at 63%, once you have this kind of event and they are not properly coordinated, people want to get a piece of the pie. And this is what really happened. And it's so shocking that this could have been happening in the home state of the coordinator of the Renewed Hope movement, Indeed. Governor Hope Uzodinma. So if this is what is happening, I'm thinking that Governor Hope Uzodinma, as the chief ambassador of the Renewed Hope ambassadors, should work with the Nigerian police and then other security agencies to ensure that crowd control measures are part of whatever they are doing. I mean, it's a good thing that they are giving back to the society, right?
Yeah.
But let's also not embark in early campaigns when INEC has not blown the whistle
Indeed.
for campaigns to start. President Tinubu and the APC should stop using the advantage of their privilege as the governing party to be engaging in subtle campaigns.
Yes.
When the INEC has not blown the whistle. This is what is happening.
Very true. Thank you.
The Electoral Act doesn't frown at proxy actions, as long as it is not directly the party. This is proxies. That's covered under the law. It's there in the Electoral Act.
And you said that giving back to the people, it's not, they're not just giving back to the people. It's not altruistic. There's a purpose. There's a reason. It's renewed hope season, in some of these states for the City Boy movement, but absolutely correct with regards to crowd control measures, where a good thing like that could then turn really sore, and it could have been potentially fatal for a number of people. But thank you so much for the analysis this morning across the stories presented on Political Brief this morning. Somna Sambo, thank you.